Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children and their learning mathematics in primary school. During this presentation, I will be briefly presenting background information of the key issues faced by the Indigenous students in the primary school, and I'll be outlining the key strategies and resources for classroom teachers. Indigenous people face structural disadvantage in Australian society. Mathematics has been one of the areas that the Indigenous people has lacked interest in and find out challenging as Indigenous perspective and culture aren't included in the curriculum. The education is Eurocentric and lacks to include the model of the world that Indigenous people live in. For many years, Australian government is looking ways to reverse the cycle of underperformance of Indigenous children in mathematical classes. Here are some of the key issues that the Indigenous students face when learning mathematics. The Indigenous students are lacking engagement in the classroom, especially in the mathematical lessons. As the mathematics curriculum doesn't include Indigenous students' world, the students find it challenging to connect with the topics and the activities. Teachers' approach is significant. According to the research, the students perform better when mathematics lessons are based on real-life example. The teachers need to cater for all the students' individual needs and move away from one-size-fits-all approach. According to 2020, Closing the Gap results stated that school attendance hasn't improved within the past 5 years. It is still the same, which is 82% average, and non-Indigenous students' attendance is 92% in average in 2019. There's still a gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous students' attendance. What can we do? Strength-based approach. Teachers should be encouraged to observe the students in their classroom to find out their strengths. One of the research has found out that most of the Indigenous children don't attend to early child centres, however they start school with a range of mathematical skills. It is significant for teachers to observe older students and apply strength-based approach when teaching maths and using their mathematics skills which is already developed and finding ways to build on. Mathematics in Indigenous context is one of the greatest examples of how significant is to bring the both Australian and Indigenous communities together and work together to improve young children's future. It recognises the importance of family engagement in Indigenous student mathematics learning and brought the community and curriculum together. It creates the connection and empowers their culture. It makes them understand mathematics the way that they're brought up and creates that link between their understanding of the world and mathematics. The teachers should look up into ways of implementing resources that are meaningful for them, and the resources are real life examples from Indigenous culture to make the understanding better. Educating teachers in Indigenous cultures, another way to make the teachers understand where the Indigenous students are coming from and they will have an understanding of their world. The teachers need to be flexible and ready to shape the lessons and activities to suit all the students' needs. Closing the Gap project is a movement from government to minimise the gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. It is a committed work from the Australian government to give healthy and safe lives to Indigenous people with a longer life expectancy. This project's one of the focus is to improve Indigenous students' literacy and numeracy skills, providing equal opportunities in the classroom, understanding Indigenous culture and values, and creating those opportunities that will encourage Indigenous students to engage, be motivated, and thrive to learn mathematics. Thank you.